Welcome back. In this part I'm going to show you the assembly procedure of the second degree hand. These are all the parts you need to assemble the device. We have some leather, foam, Velcro straps, fishing line, elastic string, we have the printed parts here, and we have some nylon filament, some nuts and bolts. Make sure to check out the bill of material that is attached in the video description. These are the tools we need. We need some basic ruler, some Loctite glue, pliers, a countersunk hole bit, scissors, needle. We need calipers. You can also use a basic tape measure. Also, this is not strictly necessary. You can use a knife or a awl instead of punching the holes with these hole pliers. You need some screwdrivers for your bolts and a sharp knife. You will also need a sharp needle or awl. The first thing you need to do is to take your fingertip and countersunk this hole. We want to make sure that the wood screw goes all the way in and that the head is covered in this countersunk hole. Do this for all the fingers. Next step is to assemble the fingers. For this we need some filament. Measure the width of the finger and cut appropriate sized pins. Make 4 of these. Use a set of pliers and push the pin through the hole. Make sure that we have some free movement in the joint. Now let's attach the fingers to the knuckle block. Measure the width of the knuckle block and cut an appropriate sized piece of filament. Make sure that you put the fingers in the right order. Now press the filament through. Okay, now the filament is all the way through. We can now continue to the next step. Grab your elastic string. The string will go from the top side of the finger back to the knuckle block and over to the other finger. Cut 2 pieces with about this length. Now we're going to tie the elastic string to the fingers. This is the tricky part. Use a needle to get the string up and make 2 knots. We don't want this to be too hard. We want it just enough so it will keep up the fingers, like this. I will tighten this slightly more. We can now cut off the excess part of the string. It's good if you can burn the end slightly to seal it off. Okay, let's attach the knuckle block to the cuff. First we need to put some nuts into these nut slots. Grab 2 screws and attach them to the knuckle block. Now let's attach the gimbal to the main cuff. Take some Loctite glue. Tighten, but not too much. We want to make sure that there's still movement in this axis. Next step is to attach the gauntlet. Remember to use some Loctite here as well. Make sure that there is some easy rotation movement on these 2 axes. Next step is to attach strings to the fingers. Take your stiff fishing line and we want this to go all the way from the fingertip and back to this tightening block. Give it a few centimeters extra. Now cut it off. Begin by making a knot on this tightening rod. Pull it tightly with your pliers. Double knot there. Make another one to lock it up. And tighten again with your pliers. Do the same for all 4 strings. Attach the strap tightening knob with the M4 screw. Make sure that you have the holes in the middle part here in the same direction as the lines go. The lines will go like this. Okay, now we can attach the tightening rods to the tightening block. We only want to screw in a few millimeters. So begin by holding your fingers to stop the rods from sticking out. Screw in the screw about 1.5 turn. You can now push the rods out like this. We want to make sure that they have about the same length here. Next step is to follow the lines through all the holes on the device. Take your wood screw and screw them in at the end. We want a bit of the line sticking out. Okay, that's good for now. Next one. Make sure that we have some free movement and that all the lines are attached to the right finger and that they are in line and looks like this. We will do some final adjustments after we have attached the foam and leather. We are going to use these templates as a guide to get the proper sized leather and foam pieces. Begin by cutting out those templates. Let's begin with the leather strap. Place your template like this. We want to line up this corner with this corner. So these two corners needs to be lined up. Now we can cut off excess parts or excess paper. Okay, I'm happy with this. Now let's transfer the holes. I will grab my awl and punch through the paper. Now we need to transfer this template to the leather. It's very important that you get the strap length correct. If you remember, we measured the circumference of the palm. We got 190 millimeters. Remember to put this side onto the soft side of the leather. The strap length is going to be this measured 190 millimeters plus an additional 30 millimeters. Transfer the template to the leather by taking a pencil and follow the line like this. Okay, don't forget the holes. We need to make a slot into the leather strap. We can use this template to find the center of the strap. Cut this off, place it on the end. The first hole is going to be 3 centimeters in. Take our awl and make a mark at the number 5, and the next hole will be 5 centimeters more. Now we are ready to cut out the leather piece. Make sure that you have a flat surface to cut on and a good knife. Use the ruler as a guide for your knife. If you always have the ruler on the inside of the leather part you want, you will always protect that from cut too much. Okay, I think that looks very good. Let's make some holes. You can either use your hole pliers or you can use the awl. This hole is slightly bigger. Okay, awesome. Next step is to cut the foam. Begin by making your pattern. This seems to work fairly well, but I think that this hole is a bit too wide over here, so we will have to have some more foam material on this side. Okay, bring your foam. Alright, that will be good enough. Let's attach the foam and strap. You can taper this slightly. The Gauntlet Leather is going to be placed like this, and then it's going to cover the arm like this. That looks great. Now let's transfer those patterns to the foam and to the leather and cut them out. Okay, we are ready to attach the foam and leather to the gauntlet. I forgot to film this when I did it the first time, so let's just do it again. Make sure that we have equal length sticking out from both sides. Take a wooden screw, place it in the middle, about 3 centimeters in from the edge. Okay, leather and foam is attached. Let's take our Velcro straps. These Velcro straps is a bit too long, so I will wrap them around to make them a bit shorter. Place them like this, so that they will later be able to be hooked down and looped around and then tightened like so. Let's cut off the excess fishing line. Before we cut these ends off, I want to make sure that we have the right tension on the fishing lines. So this can be adjusted according to the recipient's preferences, but as a standard configuration we can do it like this. When we have a little bit of angle over here at this position, when we start to bend, all the fingers should go down at the same time. So I can see that this pinky is a bit too tight. Let's loosen that slightly. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, that's very good. We can also fine-tune by adjusting these 4 screws at this tensioning block at the back. But I'm happy with that at the moment. It looks good. I can cut off the excess lines. The device is now finished. Let's try it out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and I wish you good luck making your prosthetic device.